Basically, while I'm trying to figure out the buildings around me, and as I try to figure out how to ask the right questions and think outside the box when I'm presented a opportunity, when I'm looking at a property, I'm thinking, and it's just my thoughts when I look at different assets, what can I do with this asset ultimately, right? No matter where it is in the world, ultimately you have your buy box, you have your unique interests for whatever reason, you have basically the teams that you can bring, and you have to try to figure out, what can I do? Can I value add this property? Can I raise rents? Can I come in and bring in the electric? Can I bring in the plywood? Can I bring in the different materials into this property to basically go and build, to actually get it to what I want? Can I vision this fourplex, 20 unit, 50 unit, 100 unit, 180 unit building, whatever the numbers are? Can I figure out how to push my contractors? Can I figure out what is the difference of my creativity to put this, the market really needs this, and you obviously budgeted this right, and it's a curiosity. Can I get creative with the seller and the buyer? I, as the buyer, can I try to figure out something that's not here? Can I figure out this specific product and service that I'm basically trying to figure out? And you have to learn while you connect with the people. There's different things. One is, how can I add the market to this fit of this storage unit complex, RV park, mobile home park, multifamily property. You have the creativity, and then you also have to make sure that the market fits this thing that you're trying to do. Because a lot of times people have unrealistic dreams that they're going to build a 7-floor or 70-floor building where you can only build a 3 or 4 story building, right? You can only build 68 floors. If you can only build X amount and you're trying to build a different amount, the zoning, ultimately changing the zoning and trying to figure out and convince people that you should be able to do what you're trying to do in this market, ultimately you're going to get different schnitzel. So trying to figure out how can I change my zoning while being basically you're trying to figure out what is the numbers ultimately that you're going to be able to make something and ultimately build what you're really trying to build over here, and really trying to figure out, okay, there's a use case for this property in this market, right? There's different things that basically come into play. If you decide, okay, I want to do this thing, and you budget correct, and it's correctly what you need, and there's a need for this, and you can fill that need, there's a spread, right? There's a spread on every single thing. If you can build something that's needed here, if it's an apartment building and there's needed, and you have an area where there's a supply demand, or if you buy it and you buy it with understanding that you can basically understand that, okay, this is a 70 or 60% full building, then you can fill the 40%, or you can then fix up the units at that price, right? You can basically, if you understand the way of the numbers and you understand what's going on and what's the use case. If it's retail, putting in retail and then filling it, right? You buy the empty spaces. You're buying on a cap rate. The cap rate is the spaces. You're buying it on spaces, right, that is already filled with the numbers that you see, the money that's coming in, right? The CAM, right? The CAM is what the tenants pay, the triple net, right? So you trying to figure out, okay, can I fill this, and it's needed in this space wherever you are in the world. So making sure, my point is that making sure that this space is really needed for what I decide to do. A lot of times I see in a lot of different markets in the world that it's not needed, or it is needed, and then somebody didn't finish the project. So you have to be able to go from start to finish to make your money. The thing is, a lot of people, they build stuff that are not what they didn't accomplish the contractors. You have to make sure your contractors, you have to make sure your money, you have to make sure that you could hold this money, on the dollars that you're taking out, right? So if you're taking out, let's just say a couple million, but you have to make sure what's my interest rate? What is it going to cost me to ultimately put in this thing to actually hold it for 9 months or 12 months or 18 months? What is it going to cost me on my bridge loan? You have to think about all these things. These are different things. How do I think, outside the box, be creative and be realistic, unrealistic, to understand, okay, this is going to cost me within putting this building together, putting this thing from start to finish, getting from 50% on my dollar, and then being able to go out and build something or put something together or put something that's not here already in this market, in these differences, right?